Hey, where's this microphone? That's better, maybe. Welcome to Grumpy Coda versus Unity. Um, I I nearly lost my mind in the last 2 days. As mentioned, I have a client that wants me to work in Unity, and so I'm refreshing everything, my skills, and this bloody broken pile of I don't know why people use it. Quite frankly, after the last 2 weeks, I have no idea why people think Unity is making their life easier. It's costing a ton of money, eating a ton of hard disk space, massively reducing your iteration speed, and then it just breaks. So last night I did a commit, I did a push for something I worked on for that client. It worked. The build falling out of the build system worked, and then I continued working this morning. And before I continued, I just started the app like yesterday and nothing worked anymore. I did a git reset and nothing worked. I had a colleague compile it on their machine and it worked on their machine. It didn't work on my machine, so I deinstalled Unity, editor and up, reinstalled, and it worked again. I have no idea. Took me half the day. So enough blabbering about Unity. If I hit the right button, and maybe I press this button. Oh, that light in the background is not good. Why is it so dark? What's wrong here? So we are still redoing Fiiish in Unity and in Godot. So right now, as of this moment, Unity is slightly ahead. The Godot UI looks a bit, I mean, it's debug UI, right? I'm losing my voice, so excuse me for zipping on my tea now and then. So let's actually stop this. I'm not sure why this box here is off. Let's just press play and hope it works. All right, so we have our coin collection, we have our zone spawning, and we did the magnet the last time, right? Ooh, nice magnet. Actually, we have a coin explosion up there. So last on Tuesday I said no more Unity for a bit, but maybe let's wrap up the coins, right? Let's wrap up the coins. And for that, there's, so in end of funnel, there is a coin rain as well. So we should really use the test zone. It's funny, I don't get the magnet. The magnet gets me. Whoa. It's starting to be at the point where it's fun to play the game. So what we really need to do, what I really need to do is I need to set up an automated build on Git so we get automated releases. At least for the desktop platforms, maybe not the mobiles yet. And I have no idea what I will do with the Android and the web build, but actually, maybe we'll play with that at the end of the stream. But for now, I want the, I mean, if we fixed the background, we could almost launch a early version of the game, right? We have no UI, we have no pause. I like this trail of coins. I always thought the coin magnet shouldn't be quantized, right? It shouldn't be on a circle. It should be on a gradient. But is this thing on? Can you hear me? I mean, it's so much fun collecting all. We need a high score table. We definitely need a high score table. Once we have parity, we want to add a high score table. And I want to add an online high score table, but there we have to check that people don't cheat. I intentionally rammed into that, so I stopped playing, and we actually can start working. Shall we give the other coins a go? And the other coins is a bit problematic because that's the project. Because we didn't do anything on the coins, right? We didn't do the magnet or anything in the Rust version. And I currently don't have the V2 version anywhere. Is that true? Is that true? I'm sorry for that. Do I have a repository with Fiiish 2? I mean, luckily it's spelled with 3I. Yeah, so this is not the fish we're looking for. Okay, so, oh, sorry. I found a Fiiish version, but this is not the fish. This was a... We still try to do it in Cocos. Oh my goodness. I think that was V2. That was nearly 10 years ago. That was V 0.5 after the game jam. Does not really matter, right? So I would say we do the effects. We do a little bit of cleanup of the effects. I mean, maybe not the full cleanup. And then we call it day for Unity, right? At least for now, because if we look at our roadmap here and our plan, we added coins and specials. We're halfway doing that in Unity, right? So we need to go back to Godot because it's been 3 weeks of Unity now, and well, 2 weeks, and I've had enough. I want to go a bit back into Godot. So let's do the later. Let's add a future here. Future. Add leaderboards, right? Just some statistics, and you can't do anything with the coins. At least let's have something that says, say you made 1 million coins. And then somebody writes a bot, I know. But death and restart, I mean, we do the pickups, and we do the pickups in Unity in Godot, then we handle death and restart, which is kind of already done. So I guess we go all the way to the HUD in Godot before we switch back into the HUD and the in-game pause menu in Unity. And then we do this and this in Godot, and then we fix the background. We're getting there. Depending on how quick the HUD is working, we should be there pretty fast. Maybe another 2, I don't want to say numbers, another 2 things. Streams, weeks, months, years, lifetimes. I don't know. And the zone management we have to reiterate on, right? But for now, let's do the pickups in Unity. And if we talk pickups, we talk about the rain and the explosion, right? So what if we go here? So we have the magnet, we have the rain, and we have the explosion, which are currently not used, but we can change that real quick because we... We could change that real quick if Unity wasn't slowing us down. So we have the pickups explosion, right? And that has an effect, and that's an explosion. And then we maybe... Usually I wouldn't have an effect drop down, right? I would have a list of effects, but for this... We should make it a list and iterate over the list of effects, but do I need to apply that, or can I just... Okay. And then we have the rain here, so let's put the rain here, right? So all we have to do now is here, if we have an effect, right, where do we apply the... So the magnet boost is applied to the fish very clearly. I want to do the rain and the explosion, and that's going to be interesting. Let's do the rain first. Let's do the rain first. It's sad because we have a green coin, so we cheat a bit. The rain is very rare, so we do the rain on the explosion and on the rain, and then fix the explosion later, right? So pickup effect pickup. Nice auto completion there. Right? So I don't think C# does annotations, but we have an intentional false through here, right? Just as a marker, since rain is so rare. Just for quicker testing, because we have one green coin at the very beginning, right? So what does rain do? Rain lets coins drop from the top of the screen, right? And so I would like a function that says how many coins are dropped and over what time, right? So we cheat with the time. We could just have a coroutine, right? That spawns coins over the next, I don't know, 2 seconds. But if you look at the game, right? If you look at the, I hate this. If you look at the game, right? We can just spawn. I'm not sure. Okay. We can just spawn the coins up here, right? And when they start dropping, they will naturally feel like they appear over time. So what I want is a function that spawns coins. So private void spawn coins. And I want, what do I want? Probably I want an X and a Y range, but that's fixed. So I just want an amount, right? So I want an amount for now. How many coins will get spawned? Is that right? We can tweak stuff like speed differences and stuff, but for now, let's just do that, right? For int I equals 0. Can you please do a, right? So that means here we do spawn coins, and let's just spawn 10 for the moment, right? Let's just spawn 10 coins when you pick up the rain. And where do we spawn these coins? That's going to be an interesting problem, right? But how do we spawn coins? I mean, spawning coins is pretty trivial. We know the asset, right? And we can just we get the entity config for the coin, right? So basically, it's kind of this loop. It will be less than this, but let's copy that, right? Let's copy this, and actually let's have a private. No. I wanted to have something that spawns a single coin. So we get an entity config, right, for the entity ID dot pickup coin. If we don't get that, we do nothing, right? And yes, the loop is down here. I'm fully aware of that. Right, then we spawn the game object, handle result, the offset, the zone spawn offset. So for now, right? For now, we just spawn them at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? All at the same place. We don't rotate them. So rotation is, can we do identity here? Ah, wrong language. No? Can I get a UN32, please? Thank you. We instantiate it, and then otherwise we spawn the dummy object, which we just don't do, right? We just spawn a coin. And we spawn that coin in a loop. Right, so this will spawn 10 coins in the middle of the screen. I want to invert this in a second, but let's test this first. Let's test this first. We could just wait a second. Wait a second. What is this? We have a coin here in obstacles, right? So what if we took our 2 dummy coins here, moved them into obstacles? Sorting layer is default. Did we mess up the sorting layer? Sorting layer is pickups. So maybe we just delete these. This was just for testing, right? But what if? I mean, what if we just drag the rain in here? And maybe then moved it here. All right, and then this one we move. Nope, that was the wrong one. Yeah. So now we have a test coin. I mean, oh, duh. Is it me? Is the animation of that other coin actually flipped? Ooh, I never saw that, but it might be intentional. So you see, we spawned 100 coins here, 10 coins here, and then we collected the 10 coins. So that is working. So obviously we don't want to spawn them. We want to spawn them in a box, right? And that is, how do you get random in Unity? I don't know. Unity random vector. We could just use a random, right? Scripting API random range. Random range gives us, okay, random range from 2. And this is actually what we're going to do, right? So we have the position and we have a random range. Let's say X is minus 100 to 100. Y is minus 100 to 100. And Z is 0.0 danger, wrong layer, but let's ignore that for the moment. And then we just use the position here, right? And probably I'm going to do it slightly different, but we start with this. Because I want them to be scattered kind of semi-randomly, and we could use some weird relaxation. Random does not contain a definition for range. Random range. Random range 22, 3. Random does not contain a definition for range. Really? Oh, .NET Standard? Random range. I wish Unity would tell me where random comes from. Implement in Unity Engine Core. Is it just that we're using the wrong... Oh, random is system random. Why? Where are we using random? Oh, for the next candidate. Okay, so we fixed the new random and broke the old random, right? I guess. Unity Engine random. Using Unity Engine. This autocompletion, right? So I expect the other random that we used before, this random is now broken. So we need to say var r equals random dot range. Well, that looks good, right? So this is system random and this is Unity random. And we probably should have used Unity random from the start. So now I expect our 100 coins, our 10 coins to spawn in the middle, right? Right here, well, where the cursor is, once we hit the blue coin. And that was kind of okay, but I want them better spread, so I could just increase the range. So I could increase the range to the width of the screen, and I would probably do that. And I also use like half of the height, right? Let's try that once more, but I go to this, I enable the camera frame, right? Why? Okay. The broken Unity camera frame, right? Let's do it like this. And I want to hit pause as soon as I spawn this, right? So I want the rain to be above. So I want it up here and I want it to be spread, but I want it will fall down, right? And by the time it falls down, the fish will be kind of here. So we probably want it here. So I probably try positive X to, I don't know, 500, 0 to 500, and then up, which is 512 to 1024. Let's just try that. Right, it's, where was that code? Okay, what did we say? X is 0. There are better algorithms, and then this is, let's actually say 600 to 1100. right? And where we do spawn coins. Actually, let's spawn 100 coins. The player will never catch them all. And right now they're not falling down, right? And they are not falling down. So it's funny, we have connect fixed coins and falling coins, but that is what it is. So I think we could double the width, otherwise it's not that bad. It's not that bad, right? And obviously, oh, I can even collect them, but they so double the widths and make them drop. Right, double the widths, which kind of makes sense. And once we have the gravity thing, we'll do something. So we need to set the gravity on that thing. So we need to check if that so this has a pick. I would do it on the obstacle. I'd do it on the obstacle and actually set a velocity, right? So what we have here is a var obstacle equals go get component obstacles. And if obstacle is not null, then we do something, right? And why don't we give the obstacle a velocity, gravity, but in 2 dimensions? And probably since let's just do it in, we set it in 2, but we store it in 3 dimensions, so we don't have to constantly expand this. So private vector 3 velocity equals vector 0, which is fine, right? And then we have a setter, which is public void set velocity. And I want a vector 2 here, right? And let me say velocity x is x, x is x, y is y, and z we intentionally ignore, right? We don't want to change the depths. So, but that means in the update, all we have to do is where we transform this, right? All we have to do is say time delta time, nope, delta time times velocity. Right, we just apply the velocity whenever something happens. And right now that does exactly nothing, right? Since we initialize it to 0, but actually things can fall off screen and theoretically fall in a way that it never leaves the screen. So bit of danger here of spawning endless coins that collect like floating at the bottom of the screen or falling forever. So this should actually be like a box or something, or we should use the physics system, but for now I don't care. So we say obstacle dot set velocity and axis, and this is a vector 2, right? Vector 2. All these autocompletions didn't make any sense. And I don't know, I would say this, but I think our units will be wrong. Oh, and it's C#. I keep forgetting this. So when we spawn a new coin, we check if it has an obstacle component. If yes, we set the velocity, right? Let's try this. So they should fall down or shoot up. I mean, depending on what I messed up. Yeah, small is too small. Let's actually do it like this. And they fly up very slowly. If you were watching very carefully, they're flying up very slowly, which is exactly what we didn't want. So let's make them fly down a bit fast. This number is purely thumb in the air, right? This slow iteration speed is not fun. So that is kind of okay, but I want them faster and I want them to have slightly different speeds. And we know how to do that, right? So we have the rough idea. So maybe twice the speed, but random range, let's say 200 to 300, right? Just to see how this feels. It's purely, and maybe we will add a sideways motion. I don't know. Where are my coins? Ah. Wait. Wait. They're flying up again. They are flying up again because... Why are they flying up again? I'm not sure I like this. I might just put this here. Once more was a feeling. Come on, drop down. Drop down, coins. Dear coins, drop down on me. I think there could be even more variation. Let's try this once more in normal view. Let's try this once more in normal view. Oh, we don't have the coin. We only spawn the dummy coin from editor, which is good. So that kind of almost feels good, right? Maybe even a little bit faster. Maybe even faster. Yes, that could be a slider somewhere, and then we can tweak our heart out. But and a bit more variation. And I'm tempted. Just very slightly, very lightly. If the system lets us. Now this feels good. I think I spread them even further. Because if you look where they start, right? If you look where they start, I mean, maybe we should spawn them here. So we should spawn them across the whole plane. So actually some are behind the player. It doesn't really matter. But I want you to check out something else, and that's going to be hard to see, but okay. Let's do this again. Because they keep falling, right? The ones I don't catch. The ones I don't catch. The coins I don't catch. And I have the magnet right here, right? So. Did I just catch them all? Oh! Oh, did you see that? I think our magnet is actually applying the Wait, for real? I think it's dependent on the zoom level. Well, let's see where the fish is when the first coin starts moving, right? Remember the point? Thank you. But the fish is at, oh yeah, that. The fish is not moving. The fish is not moving, but the first unmoved element here is kind of at x245, right? So let's stop this and try this. Why? So 245, right, for the magnet in the smallest zoom and in the normal zoom. Because right now I'm not attracting all the coins, right? And let's have our finger on the button. So now the first non-attracted is at 80. Well, it's at minus, it's much closer. So I think we have the wrong coordinate. We have something that is scaled. That's not, how can I? So this here, right? You saw that? I can, when I zoom out, I suck up more. So that distance that we use for the distance calculation, the coin rain is fine. The coin rain is fine. I want to talk about the falling coins, but this range here, right? This range. So I think we need the low. So the problem is we have a scale, right? Why? We had that problem before, right? We had that problem when spawning the zone. My brain freezes. The problem is, right? This here is zero. So question, what is the local position of this one? And what is the local position of this one now? Coordinate systems have always been my bane. Let's try the local position and see what breaks. The local position is probably wrong, right? I'm 99% sure it is wrong. Since both parents are 0, it shouldn't. Oh, that works better, right? It's not zoom dependent anymore. So now I can show you what I was actually talking about, and let's swim for a while, right? Let's swim, let's keep swimming and not die. And I keep swimming, and the problem is, right, if I pause here, oh, okay. The coins moved off to the left of the screen, right? But what if we have the world speed, right? We have the game manager and we have the speed 240. what if when we spawn the coins, right, we spawn them with a forward velocity of roughly 240. So they keep swimming against the world, right? Very roughly. Details, tweak the numbers. Don't try to calculate numbers that you don't know the answers to, right? So now the coins compensate for the world speed, right? And actually they go slightly to the right, rounding stuff. So we just spawned a bunch of coins and you see part of the problem here, right? I mean, that is a lot of coins here. And if you zoom out here, you see where all these coins are, right? Yeah, that's not good. So what I will add is like a bottom, right? So once they reach this plane here, like 2000, I guess if they're 2000 below or 2000 above, we just delete them. And we already have that code, right? We already have that check in the obstacles. So what we do here, if this or transform local position dot y is larger than 2000, and 2000 is purely because our, thank you for that broken autocompletion. Basically we have a frame, right? And I'm not doing the right side because we always swim to the right side, and if something is moving very fast to the right side, well, be my guest and stay forever. That was not intended like that. So I'm gonna fix the rain in a second, right? So they fall down. They all fall down, and at some point they should start to disappear here from the left. I mean, we're gonna spawn a bunch of new ones now. So let's survive a bit longer. So they start to, we just spawned another rain. I want them all be gone. Go away. Let's not create more coins, please. Yeah, now they're all gone, right? And if I zoom out here, there are no coins down here. So that worked nicely. And that, scrolling by zooming, right? Instead of actual scrolling. And that was a coin rain. And yes, we're gonna remove this thing here. And to be honest, the 100 we will tweak once we do upgrades. Because you probably spawn 10 in the beginning, and then let's go crazy. And let's go. Unity will hate me. Unity will just hate me. Unity will just hate me. I shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that. I mean, we're just instantiating 10,000 objects, right? Maybe that was a bit much for poor old Unity. Maybe should have cranked it up slowly, but 1,000 felt like, yeah, the system should be able to handle that. Oh, look, and it's actually only the spawning that's so broken. I mean, the frame rate is abysmal, but it... So, we just spawned another one. So let's fix the code. Let's reduce that number, right? And it's purely the spawning logic, because we're... Would it be faster to clone an existing object instead of instantiating a prefab? I don't know. I don't know. My stop worked, right? So let's try 1,000. I mean, we can still get out of 10,000. I'm pretty sure it leaked like crazy. So that's why you normally wouldn't spawn them all at the same time and spawn them in a background thread over time, right? Because you have this, but this is mayhem, right? So I'm tempted to spawn them over time. Shall we do the other variant just to see how far we can go? So we'll keep this coin spawner, right? But what we actually want to do in the game and what we can do in the game manager, right? Private float coin rain duration equals 0, right? Coin rain duration. And then we could do something fancy like spawn a coin for 10 seconds every second, right? Or actually, okay, what if we had, and this should not be, we're mashing everything in the manager, right? But what if we have a private float coin rain frequency period, right? So we want a coin spawned for, so we had 100 coins and we wanted them to be spawned over 3 seconds. So we want 1 new coin every 0.3 seconds, right? And then we have a third private float, and that is a coin remainder. Actually, we do this the other way around. We do coins per coin rain per second, right? And we want 3.3 per second. So in 3 seconds we have 100, right? But I'm gonna also set this to 0 for now. Let's put this, and then we have a coin rain counter, right? And that is also 0.0, and here comes the magic, right? So what we'll do now, instead of spawning the coins directly, we say coin rain duration. We set 3 seconds, right? Coin rain per second, we say 3.3. And it's going to become clear, right? So this is where we spawn the coins, and we don't spawn the coins. So in the update, actually in the update pickups, that's a good point, right? After we're done with everything, we calculate how many new coins we have to add. So coin rain counter, this auto completion is the time delta time times the coins per second, but only if coin rain duration. No, I always look down here and then press tab. So this is enter, this is tab, which is if the duration is larger than 0, right? And there will be some rounding errors here. We could fix the mass, right? And obviously we say coin rain duration minus equals delta time, right? So we count it down. And this is actually coin rain counter, right? So technically this should probably be clipped to this. So let's imagine we have half a second left, right? We have half a second of coin rain left, but the delta time is 1 second. Then obviously we want the smaller of these, right? But that's var t equals mass f dot the smaller of time. The auto-completion is completely over the place, delta time and coin rain duration, right? Let's do it right. So we make sure we don't overshoot, and this is just counting it down. And now we have coin rain counter is basically larger than 0, right? So we say var cc for coin count is basically we just cast to an integer, right? Because our coin rain counter is a float. So that's the part before the decimal point. Then we say coin rain counter, we subtract that, so we only get the leftovers, and then we say spawn coins with the counter, right? I'm pretty sure I said spawn coins, but so we trigger a counter, and over the next 3 seconds, we spawn 3.3 per second. So this will be larger than 0 because we just set it. And probably we just do the same. We extend it, right? So we get leftovers rounded out. If you collect 3, you get 3 times the time. We use the smaller of the delta time or the duration. We calculate how many coins we would have added in this time frame. And this might be fractions, right? We might have added 0.1 coins, but then after a few frames, this will be, if CC is larger than 0, right? I mean, technically, if we subtract 0, that is fine. But we don't have to spawn, right? So let's optimize that out. So we might just add 0.1 per frame, and then after 10 frames, we suddenly add 1. So we add that 1 coin, subtract it, and spawn it. I'm not even sure. Let's try. Let's try to spawn some coins. Give me money, 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 and give me a way to spend the coins in Fiiish. So you see it's now spawning the coins over time. You see that at the top. That was not enough coins, right? So I think if I have 3 seconds to spawn 100 coins, I want 33.3 coins spawned per second, right? Again, should come from a game balancing file. And when we add the shop with the upgrades, we'll do exactly that. For now, we just go, yeah, kind of feels right. So for 3 seconds, we spawn a bunch of coins, and now we spawn more because, and all of that is, oh, I swam into the wall. And all of the, oh, on respawn, we have to stop that or you get the remaining rain. And why doesn't it stop? Why doesn't it stop? Didn't we stop it? Did we? So on respawn, we have to stop it, but if the coin's duration is... I'm going to live with that autocomplete. I'm going to live with that autocomplete. And so let's die while it should count down, right? Did we put it in the wrong block? Oh, I'm an idiot. The duration is 3 seconds, right? The duration we wanted is 3 seconds. And the coin rain per sec, the auto completion coin rain per second is 33.3, right? And the counter is whatever it is. That auto completion was messed up. Once more. I'm probably, I want to see if it works. I'm not going to turn it off yet. It's expensive. Okay, and now we start at 2 seconds, and after 2 seconds, we stop, right? And then we start again, and it starts to rain coins again, and this actually doesn't look too bad, right? The problem is if we die while it's raining, it will continue raining after we die, right? Because we didn't reset it. That's an easy fix. So I have my finger on the kill button. So happy that I put in the kill fish button. Kill fish button. The clicker. As soon as it starts raining, I press kill. And it is counting down. So, but we still should reset it, right? Because if it was longer, if it was like 3 minutes, for some reason it would. So in the respawn, we set coin rain duration. Coin rain duration. We just set it to 0, right? And now we can go crazy, right? Now we can go crazy. So spawning 100 coins in 1 frame was not a problem, right? So let's actually go crazy and say for 30 seconds, we spawn 333 coin. I leave the old values there because they were nice, right? So we should be spawning a ton of coins, so it's not the spawning. I mean, at 60 FPS, we spawn like five coins per frame, so that should be fine. We did 100 in 1 frame. So that's how we stretch out that problem, right? So actually, we have a lot of coins and still hitting our frame rate, which is super nice. We have the Z fighting, which is already on our list. And we hit the magnet, so welcome to Coinland. I mean, the frame rate is dropping, but it might also be the tracing, to be honest. It might be the tracing here, which is a problem, and I have no idea what this is. Probably the updating of the UI. And it just keeps raining, so maybe the rain should stop when we die, and not only on respawn. I mean, this is having this on for 30 seconds is not normal. And I'm not sure this is seconds. This feels wrong. Is 30 seconds that long? I mean, this is, you die and then you see what you missed, right? But now it's also very transparent that this is a hard edge. So I would like a gradient, but... And then it stops after a while, right? And everything is fine, and then I can start again and do the same thing over again. So, okay, when the fish dies, right? When the fish dies. Oh, we don't know when the fish dies. And we just said we leave it in, so we leave it in. So let's remove this, and all of this should come from a config file, right? Please don't hard code this. We're just eyeballing this because we're doing the remake and we're cheating. I am not sure if a magnet should count as a coin, but give it a value, you say? Give it a value. Really? Okay, give the pickup a coin value, right? So public int coin value equals 0, right? Well, let's set it to 1. And then we have public int coin value, which just, yes, I like to create explicit getters, right? So now in the game manager, we already know this is a pickup, right? We know this is a pickup, so P is the pickup. So we just say P dot coin value, coin value. And then obviously in the prefabs, we have to set that stuff correctly. Right, so we have our pickups and our coin has a coin value of 1. Our explosion is a coin, has a 1. Our magnet doesn't give us any coins, right? And this has a coin value of 1. So just to verify this, I'm gonna actually move this up. Move this up and then just gonna drag a magnet down here, right? Actually, here. Can we reach it? Okay, let's move it here. So we should not get a coin if we collect that, right? We should not get a coin if we collect that. And I'm going to turn off the stats. So look at the coins, we get the magnet, and we collected that coin up there that we sucked in, but the magnet itself didn't give us a coin, right? And actually, I quite like that. So let's also drag in the explosion here, just in the middle of the screen, and drag it in here, right? So right now, the rain and the explosion do the same thing. Why didn't when I triggered the magnet, the rain triggered, okay. I like the rain. I like the coin rain a lot. It has some visual glitches, but we made some rain. Let's make some rain. We're having fun, right? The coin was made in like 10 minutes in Blender by me. And it was super speed, super fast. It's just a circle with an extrusion at the edge, and then some scribbling on top of it to get the texture right. Actually, that's a filter. That's just a filter, but different story. I'm not gonna go into that. 10-minute coin is a different topic. So we did the rain. Let's do the explosion. And the explosion is gonna be interesting because what we do is we shoot out a coin or a fan of coins. And actually, we implemented that, but we kind of have a second layer effect there. So let's remove this false row, right? So coin explosion. What we're gonna do is we're gonna spawn an explosion at the point of the. We're gonna spawn an explosion. I wonder if we should have like a timer too. This could be a particle system, but let's just spawn the coins, right? Shall we? what we will do, we have a private void spawn coin explosion, and probably this should have been spawn coin rain. And this has a vector 3, which is the position. And funnily enough, we'll do something like this, right? We do something like this. Too much, whenever you copy and paste code like this, there's something wrong, right? So if we are in here, what do we actually want to do? So what I want to do is I want to have this like, I can't. So I want one flying up and one flying down, right? That's the first layer coins. We could do a callback, but that sounds expensive. Let's spawn one coin to the right, right? So what we will do is we will spawn one coin, and the position is actually the position, right? So we don't need a new position. We spawn exactly where the coin was. Maybe we add a delta there, but we spawn a coin at the position, right? And actually, let's call this position. With no rotation. Let's not rotate that. And set the velocity to vector 2, right? And we want to go just to the right. And that is actually the move. Wasn't it the move speed? It was just the speed, right? So if we spawn it at the speed, it will not move at all, right? So we could do a little bit more, right? And we don't want any Y, but this is not what we want, right? So the problem is if we want to spawn it so it flies away, but if it's faster than you will never catch up. So we want to give it an impulse and then have it slow down again, right? So we're cheating a bit around the system here. Let's try the green one. And the green one should really be a red one. So, oh, actually, it helps to call that code, right? Because we don't call that code. And this is actually, no, this is PP, right? PP. Actually is the pickup transform position. And Unity and the editor's complaining that this is expensive and we shouldn't be doing it here, and it's not wrong. So probably we should actually start a coroutine that. Ooh. So what if? Yeah, the magnet was too strong. So what we will do is we add a little bias here, but we're gonna do it. You saw it when you look quickly. So what we actually gonna do is we're gonna say the initial position, right? Position dot x plus equals just 100 for now. Right, so everything starts from the wrong position. that was not enough. So we're going to make it faster, right? Just for the proof of point and probably spawn it. That is too much, but we don't want it to be instantly collected, right? So we can actually see, and we should probably have a better, we should have a button that says explode now. You see, we have this coin that is slowly flying to the right. But that's not what we want, right? We want, what do we want? What do we want? Maybe the coin knows. Oh, here's the thing. What if we tell the coin, hey, you're an exploding coin, and you have, I don't know, 3 generations left, and by the way, this is the angle you're flying at. So first generation flies to the right. Then after some time, it says, hey, there's another generation. So I destroy myself and replace myself with 2 other. I don't like the coins, replacing the coins. So Okay, so let's look at this again. So what I want is the coins to multiply, right? So obviously that was, I'm going to put it on the button. I'm going to put it on a button. I'm just going to put it on a button, right? Where is the, how did we do this? Was it in the fish where we have the kill? Oh, we need to clean this up. So if input get key, right, we can do the same in the game manager in the update. And we actually going to do this in the E for explosion, right? Spawn explosion. That's not. Right, so we can spawn an explosion when, yeah, that's not the button I wanted to press. But if it works. So you see, we spawn a lot of coins, right? Because it's not, maybe is there a, oh, I don't want, I could just, so returns true while the user holds down. Returns true during the frame, get key down. Returns true, starts pressing. Okay. That's actually what we want, right? Just use the source. Use the source loop. Okay. And now if I press E, I can still hammer it, right? But I only spawn 1, which is much nicer. And now they're flying out the right side of the screen and gonna live forever, but, well, until I die. So here's the thing, right? I want them to move and then stop. It's gonna be like getting an impulse. So we are gonna add to the pickup, to the obstacle. It's an obstacle, right? It's an obstacle. I would love to just set a pass, right? Have a visual editor for a pass and say, hey, ooh, okay. What if we had an array of target velocities and a duration to get there. So have this duration until for 1 second, then have this duration. Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. Right? So I like that. And okay, how do we do this? So we have the set velocity, right? So what if we have a public void at timed velocity? That's not how you would do it, right? And then we have a private list. And I wish I had tuples. Can we do tuples? Can we do tuples in C#? And is not obstacle points, is time velocities, right? That works. So when we add a time velocity, we just say time velocities and add that, right? And float duration. Yes, we could have abused the Z value, but I like how the autocompletion tried to kind of make sense. So we added time velocity, right? So we added time velocity, and after that time, what do we do? Does that define how long it will have this speed? Or does this define in how many seconds it will have this speed? I'm leaning towards the... Let's call it at delayed velocity. Timed. No. After this time, this velocity will happen, right? So what we can do here, for example, where we spawn the explosion, we set the velocity to whatever we want, right? And then we say obstacle at time velocity and say, let's say after 2 seconds, right? We want the velocity to be vectored to 0. Stop after 2 seconds, right? And then an obstacle, we say, this is in the list, in the update. So in the update where we do this, right? We change the velocity, right? So, and this is completely independent of the game manager. And I mean, pause mode should probably apply to do handle world speed factor and pause once we add pause. So what I want to do is if time velocities, if we have time velocity, right, then time velocities, timed velocities 0, and this is expensive, right? Dot how do I access the tuple here? How do I? I don't know. C# access tuple elements. We shouldn't use a tuple, to be honest. I shouldn't really use a tuple. Let's no. Okay. What if we had struct timed velocity, right? And that had a float duration and vector to velocity, right? And then this list actually is of type time velocity, right? And then we just say var time TV equals timed velocity. Can I do this? Struct name not. Why not? Because I'm writing C++ code, you say. You are, hey there, I really need to fix that Raspberry. And then we just add that, right? Then we just add that. Same. And then in the update, we can actually, so we can access the duration here. And we do, so if it's still in the list, it must be larger than 0, right? So we do the usual. We subtract the delta time, and then we say if time velocity is 0, duration is smaller, then we just say remove at 0. We remove it. Does remove at 0 give us back the element? Oh, that would have been so nice. Would have been so nice. So what we actually do is we do what we do with set velocity, right? When it has expired, and this is probably a bad idea to do it like this, but I do it anyway. I usually would use a reference or extract it first, but so basically, if we have a time velocity left and its time is up, then we apply it and remove it. Right? And the game is running in the background. Yeah, sure. This gives us some interesting. So. Did we? Break it? Okay, that's a bit. See, I spawn it and it flies for 2 seconds and then it stops. Which is kind of what we want. Which is kind of what we want. So, what if we change direction instead of, right? We don't have to stop it. We can change direction now. We can add more than one. Yes, thank you. I know. So this says after 2 seconds stop, right? But what if after the first half second half second, we said I don't know. After the first half second, we add a little bit of Y. Switch to 45 degrees after half a second, right? And maybe stop after 1.5 seconds so they don't fly forever. Could also slow down. I mean, we could lerp between the values, but we probably should have an editor for these patterns and just say go to step 2. You see that? I mean, the speed is still wrong, right? But what if we spawn 2 and one goes up and one goes down? You see where this is going? So what if we spawn 2? I wonder if there's a structure to model that better. So what if so we have an array, right? What if we have a loop? Okay. So what if this probably could be const, right? Velocity y equals an array of 0 I can't do that, right? Collection expressions is not available. That makes me sad. So we want this fast, right? We want this really fast. And then we want it to slow down and change direction. Tweaking this, but I have a rough idea in my head that I don't know yet what the exact data will be. Right? Flies away, and maybe the 200 is too big now. Maybe do plus 100 to spawn closer to the fish, right? We're mixing of, unless you can fine tune one value and then coarse tune the other value, because it will be. The position was good. It just needs to watch for the eye, watch for the eye. The position was good. Look for the screen saying here. I wish the iteration speed was better. The magnet is too strong, so we need to make it a little bit faster. What if we do it like this? Just modeling one branch, right? Modeling one branch. Still feels slow, right? I mean, it's an explosion. So what if we just double this value and double this value and double this value? I want it to give a boom, right? So let's test with the green, then make it shorter. Yeah. It shoots. So let's make it shorter. This one too. And then let's see how this feels. And it's just one, right? We want multiple, but let's tweak the first one. That looks weird. But if I change this to 400, wait. I want it flat and then I want it high, right? Angles to be defined. Yes, I should make these tweakable at runtime. Have a slider here that says, hey, tweak the value, right? Because Unity's iteration speed is so bad. Looks a bit weird, but in my head, it kind of. And we'll add some randomness later, right? Maybe, just maybe, for testing for the E, right? What if we actually do I wish that's where I missed an auto-completion, right? So I know the fish is at minus 400. Just for the test data. What's the time? Oh, we still have a bit of time left. Collect some fish coins, my friend. You're going to need them soon. And I stopped and stop. The E should probably use the fish position. So, but we have the fish position, right? We have F. We have FP. Well, we could just use, we could just, we don't have the fish here. I mean, nobody's stopping us from doing this per fish, right? But then we want a slight offset in front of the fish. It's all so quiet and I'm so tired. $100 is too much. But it's kind of getting there. So the problem is if I set it to 0, right, the magnet will instantly grab it, I guess. Maybe if the speed is high enough, we reach escape velocity. So this is not the pattern I want, right? This is not the pattern I want. I wonder. Now this looks a bit weird, right? What if we spawn 3 coins? Bear with me for a second. What if What if we spawn 3 coins, right? And they need to behave differently. So what after this second, right? One of them goes up, one of them goes down, and one of them goes the same. So I'm going to do this with an if for the moment, right? Or let's actually do a switch. Let's switch on I, right? Case 0. We have 3 cases, right? Yes, I could use mass. I want to do this explicitly in this case. So case 0 goes up. This goes, all right, same, and this goes down. And yes, that is intentionally that I do the multiplication here instead of just putting the number. So best way to get a tuple in C#. C# doesn't do tuples. It's not a modern language. It's a pile of it's too long, but the effect is good. So what if we set this to right? I mean, so what if each of these 3 coins was 3 coins? So what if we multiply by 3, right? You will see nothing. You will, because I didn't do the modulo I wanted to do. So the first 3 will do what we did, and the third and the others will keep the initial speed for longer, right? Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe this is good. Maybe this is good, but what if we want 5 per layer? And let's simplify this a bit, right? So this is speed y equals 0.0f. And then this is speed y, right? And we set 200. And then here we set speed y times 1, right? Just for symmetry. Here we set speed times 0, right? And here we set speed times -1. Should behave the same, right? For the first 3. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do a %3 here. So we just wrap around. So that's for the first iteration, right? So we have, right now we have 3 coins. Actually, let's do 5 times 3. Let's do 5 here, and let's add 2 more cases. This, oh, there's an 11 here. Yes, I know. We could do this with mass, but I want to be explicit, right? So we have 2, 1, 0, -1, and -2, right? So We're modeling an explosion in code. What the hell are we doing? What the hell are we doing? I wish I had the original code because we went through this 10 years ago. We went through all of this 10 years ago. So let's have a look. So we have 5 now, right? That kind of spawn in a nice way in front of the fish, but 5 is kind of boring. I wish I could stop the fish movement. So I want multiple layers, right? So what if I spawn 3 times 5? And what if we did the same thing here, right, for the second round, where we have 400, right? We have 400. And this is SY, right? SY, and then we have the same thing here, right? And I'm intentionally doing it with a switch case again. But what if we actually what if we multiplied this by 5, right? So we get we have 5 in a group. Is 5 correct? Did I just make that up? I have to draw this thing out. I have to draw this thing on a piece of paper, but who has paper nowadays? Yeah, that's not what I wanted. So we have 10 coins, right? So in the first round, we have to divide by 5. We don't have to. So we have 2 packs of 5 coins, right? And in the first round, we want 2 of them doing the same thing, or let's say 3 of them doing the same thing, right? So 3 of them doing the same thing, 3 of them getting clamped down to, and this needs to be a float division that then gets casted to an int, I hope. We shouldn't do it like this. And then on the second round, actually let's do 5. So we can divide by 5 here, and the 5 is purely coincidental because I want 5 here. We're doing wild stuff with the explosions, but Unity is done. Unity coins are done after this, so so this is not right because okay, I want the first 5 coins of the 25 here, right? I want the first 5 coins of these 25 to do this, and they do, right? And then I think this should be correct. Maybe we need to trace it. I don't want Ah, obviously. So he's got a spread of 200 for this amount of time, right? And a high speed. So where am I thinking wrong? Cause so this one here, right? The upper one here, the 0, had 400 for this amount of time. So was roughly flying diagonal, ignoring the speed because that's compensated by the world movement. Right? And then in the second phase, it should fly 800 down at a lower speed. So it should overcross the original value, right? I wish I could slow-mo this. I can slow-mo this. But then the coins won't be connected. So layer one is good, right? I wish I could kind of stop in the middle of. So we have 5 groups, right? One stays roughly in front of the fish. Oh, here, the fish was here, right? One stays roughly in front of the fish. Why are they dropping down faster than they're going up? Do we have velocity? Do we have? Oh, because we're collecting them. Okay. So what if we completely disable the coin collection for the moment? This could be a whole scripting language, right? That disabled certain. So what if we disable the coin collection for a moment? And the magnet. So what if we just set ls equals float max value, right? Far away. Go on. So we can't collect anything anymore, right? But that means, okay, so they spread out very evenly, right? They spread out super nicely, which is kind of what we want. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Let me try to, and they do this overlapping thing, right? So they double cross their paths, which is kind of cool. It's too precise, but this is good. So what I want to do now is, and then that's actually good, right? And that's what we, so this is basically, right? So, okay. Let's call this var G for group, right? This is the group. This is the group, right? Group. So basically we do sy times, right? So this value here is group plus 2, right? Is it? Or maybe it is 2 minus group, right? And this here is 2 minus group. And this here is 2 minus group, right? And this here is 2 minus group. And this here is 2 minus group as well. So what we have is 2 minus group, right? And we could add a scaling factor like this. But basically we have this, right? And let's actually make sure this is a float operation, right? So this replaces this. Quick proof, quick proof. Quick proof. All that shader coding comes in handy now. That looks more like what I wanted, but not the same. G is a value between 0 and 5, right? So y, if G is 0, we multiply by 2. If G is 1, we multiply by 1. If G is 2, we multiply by 0. So this should by all means be identical. I mean, I'm just gonna typecast is redundant, right? Because this is already a float, so this and the other one should behave identical, right? What did I do? And there are breaks. It wasn't a fall through issue. But this looks different. Right? This, I wanted to press pause. Sorry for that. Well, this is very evenly spread out, right? While this variant, these two should be identical. Unless but they are not, right? Let's see, maybe it was a quirk. Mass. This was too easy, I knew it. Okay. I don't know what we did, but they are identical as we expected. Maybe we didn't save or saved an intermediate version. And funnily enough, right, if I do this group sing here again, and just do this here, right? And this is the group now. And then this is basically the same, right? 2 minus group 0 is 2. 2 minus group 1 is 1, and so on. So it's basically the same, only the calculation of the group is different, right? And that's what I wanted to see, because now we now we just want to see that it's the same. All right, so this is the same. What if we add one more layer, right? What if we add one more layer now? Right, so we add one more layer and this is becoming, so now we're spawning probably too many coins. Danger here. Right, they will be in the same group, so they will just overlap and z-fight, which is intentional for the moment. Can you just, this editor is slowing me down. It's still, I mean, we're spawning too many coins here, right? But so what if we know how to do a group, right? So what if we do the group one more time, but instead of this, right? Instead of this, we do another group thing here, right? This is another group. And probably we should have used 25 here and 5 here. Same, just different splitting, right? And what if we tweak this value by group? So we get some layering, right? So what I want is, what if var the group delay equals group times 0.05f, right? And then we just add the group delay here. So they stop later, so they should fan out more. I really want to add a little bit of randomness, but for today I just want some coins. Let's do some coins, right? Let us do some coins. So I like the way it starts to flow out, right? If you look at the beginning, it looks pretty nice. The end duration needs to be staggered by, so I want them to have like a radius, right? So the ones that fly more straight, or are the more middle ones, should fly longer than the ones that fly up and down, right? Makes sense? So this duration here, right, is for every coin, is related to the sum of these, right? Because if these are higher, the speed, overall speed is higher. So let's call this, I'm sorry about this, but var OZ, right? And then here we say OZ plus equals. So this is not scientific, right? OZ, OZ, and OZ, right? And then I want this relative to OZ. And for that, I want to look at the values. Overall speed Y. We probably should take the overall speed into account instead of the overall speed Y and do a square. I mean, that's basically the length of the vector, right? But you're having fun. So OZ is between OZ is between 1600, 0, and I think it should be minus 1600, right? Why is it? Why is it going more up than down? So I want the absolute value of that, and for 1600, I want the maximum distance, right? So I want the maximum value, the absolute value of that, right? So OZ equals mass abs OZ, right? And I want to scale that to 1600, so I divide by 1600. So that's our normal length. And at normal lengths, we want 0.5 seconds, and at anything shorter, we want shorter, right? That's not what I typed. So the ones that fly, wait, is it the other way around? So the ones that fly far fly longer. This is exactly the wrong way around, right? So let's actually cannot convert double to float. Where? Why is OZ double? Oh, come on, really? We need to fix that serializer error. Warning. So this will be wrong now, right? Why are more coins flying up than down? Because I'm stupid. What does this give us? Values between 0 and 4, right? Values between 0 and 4. So this is 0 to 4. 0 to 4, right? So this is 2, wait, 1, 0, 1, and 2. But this here we're biasing towards up, right? So we're biasing towards lower numbers. So we're round clamping down. So technically, probably, I mean, I don't want to do this, but we should cast this to a float, right? This is, then add 0.5 F and then do the thingy, right? Because we're biasing down, which is biasing our groups up. Let's ignore the OZ thing for the moment. There was a bad symmetry, which I didn't see due to the fish being... And we obviously have to do that at every level, right? So... Actually, we're gonna cheat a bit and say var j equals the biased I, right? So it's this one here is actually j for the group calculation, right? And then we do the j. I'm not sure that's what I wanted. We'll do something new for, oh, float to end. Yeah, actually we cast that back to int. Fine with me. This is not how I would do it. Once we have parity, later create explosion pass editor. Part for later. Let's bike shed that. Because it's getting late and I want Unity to be. That didn't help at all. Why? So the first layer, the first phase is pretty nicely even, right? Oh, we can actually, we can just, do the first layer and the last, right? So we set the initial velocity to 0. Well, that makes sense, and stop after a while. That already should give us like a spread because OZ changed. So we have a spread along a line, which is a bit annoying, but right. So they spread. So they have different speeds. And if you look careful, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different speeds, which is weird. So we add the first layer, right? Just the first layer here. Is that right? Okay, we have the distance and the SY here, right? But needs some refactoring. Needs some cleanup. We probably could have a recursive function that calculates these values for us, but and here it already starts to spread upwards. What does that mean? That means, what if GD equals 0.0, right? What if the group duration is maybe the group that goes up just flies longer? I mean, the group that flies up flies longer. That's not what I wanted, right? So the angle is consistent, right? So it can only be the time until it stops, but GD here is 0. Oh, so it's this value. Okay. Okay. All right. Need to refill my tea. We're grouping them wrong. We're grouping them wrong. Okay. And now it's just too short, right? So because we have this, but let's just fly it a little bit longer. I want the original value there. This loading times drive me crazy. So they all fly the same duration, right? But y is SY What is SY here? Shouldn't they all fly up? Oh, I need to. They fly the same direction, and then this is until they start changing direction, right? So they change direction later. If you can't read your own code, it should be some array or something that we pre-calculate. I mean, there's no need to calculate this. This looks pretty good, right? So the first layer is definitely not biased. That looks evenly spread out. So is GD wrongly biased, right? Because I basically want one. So these should alias, right? So you divide by 25 here. So the first 5, wait. So we have 120, right? So the first 25 end up in group 0, the next 25 end up in group 2, the next 25 end up in group 3. Here we split the groups differently, right? Because, oh, how do I, so basically, okay. Right, so we have packs of 5. We have 5 packs of 5. And then we have 5 packs of these 5 packs, right? Right? And then in the next layer, we have this pack and this pack of, well, it's a pack of 25, right? It's a pack of 25, and this is a pack of 25, and this is a pack of 25, and this pack is a pack, right? And then at the top, I have a pack of 120. And I'm not gonna split this up down here, because this is gonna be right, and technically I'd have to move this all the way here. I'm just gonna visualize and so on, right? So what I do here, and this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, right? And what I do here is G. I divide by 25, so I crush down from the top, and now my brain is gonna melt. Right, so the first 25 values, so this pack here, right? This pack here is this group. And this pack here is this G1, right? That is fine. So this is our first G here. These are our groups. And then the second time, I just divide by 5. So that is this group here, right? And I'm not sure I want that. Maybe I want it the other way around. My brain can't just handle it, right? So I think I want to switch this and this. And actually I want to switch this and this. And I want to switch so I want this here down here, right? And this here up here. And then I want this here up here and this here down here, and actually I have to do this now, right? So we've been slicing it in the wrong direction, I think. Brain melting mass stuff. I should just draw a nice picture and we'd be done with it, but oh, this is, let's try to, it flies diagonally and then it stops, right? So they get staggered and then fly diagonally. And that is exactly what we wanted. And we disabled the second phase, right? And we disabled the OZ and we made the phases longer. So let's... Don't you dare rainbow ball on me, dear Unity. You're doing nothing. I mean, there's 10 objects in this scene tree. The flight times are too long, so they don't have time to undiverge. Is that don't why are you watching me doing this? This is wrong. And we're gonna cut it short in a bit, because we're gonna write that tool where we just say, hey, this is what we want, right? Okay, and this is just too short. Too short, right? Let's make this longer. And yeah, if we multiply by 0 here, maybe we should set OZ to 1 so it doesn't stop so abruptly at the end. Because that is a stop time, right? This is that waiting time before the final stop. All this work and it looks horrible, but they're evenly spread now, right? There's no buyers anymore. If I spawned exactly in the middle, they're kind of okay. So now we can go back to our OZ, and maybe I want to debug OZ here before I do that, because the range might have changed drastically. Target the circle, basically. I could have just spread them in a circle and be done with it, right? Too easy. Too easy. Why make things easy if you can show how not to do things? I did enable the debug here, right? I did enable the debug. I did enable the debug. Come on, Unity, it's not that hard. So let's clear the console, start swimming, spawn an explosion, and then stop. Okay, now these values are between 0 and 1. Which is what we wanted. So that is nice. Maybe 0 is not good, so we do 0.5 plus up to half a second extra. And this is probably the wrong way around. I'm pretty sure it's going to make the middle shrink and the outsides fly out. But by this point, I might as well be talking and not talking at all. I'm leaning towards saying OZ equals 1 minus OZ. But that might be complete bullcrap. Ba-ba-bam-bam-bam. Did I say that? I didn't say that. I did not. Me? No. No. I need to draw some pictures what I actually want, because right now my brain is like, nah, that's not what I want. So, well done, right? I'm gonna do a commit like this, and then we start over. I mean, it's an explosion, right? So I want to, okay, let's do a commit like this. Let's do a commit like this, and then we start over. But what we definitely did do hashtag Unity at coin rain effect. Unity and that's only because we missed the source code. We wanted parity, but we didn't know what we did back then. So add bad version of coin explosion, right? Explosion. So S01 E13 add coin rain effect to Unity and bad coin explosion effect, right? So we added that. Oh, the coin collection is off. Danger, 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 danger. We switched the random. We added the coin rain thing, which was super nice. Did that in the update, and we did the time velocity thing, which is nice, right? Independent of that we're not using it, and we added the two things. So I think we commit this. And now we go back to the drawing board, right? I think our approach is right. We want to spawn a bunch of coins, right? But let's do it the other way around, right? Let's say we want to spawn, I don't know. Let's say we want to spawn, okay, all of this, well, not all of this. We do this and basically this, right? And let's just do 50. Right? Pretty straightforward. So, step one, I want them to be split in two groups that we treat completely. Let's make it 3 groups, right? Let's make it 3 groups. 3 layers. I'm going to tell you why, but let's make 1 layer first. So what I want is that they spread on a circle, right? They just go on a circle. So 50, so we go from minus pi to pi, right? So we want them around a circle. So the I gives us the rotation, right? So let's actually rotate that speed vector, that target location vector, right? Okay, var target equals vector 2, right? And that is just right. That is just a vector to the right. And we scale that by, let's say, 800, right? That is where we want to go. That is where we want to go. And actually we add the speed as well so it moves constantly with us, right? So this is where we want to add up, right? So the velocity, actually, oh, interesting. This is not where we end up. This is the speed, right? And if we go like this for half a second, and say we go at 1600 pixels per second, right? Pixel per second for half a second, right? Then we would end up here. So this is the target, right? Then we have a duration, and that is 0.5, right? So this is target, and this is not true because okay. Divided by duration, but we need to add the speed after that, right? So velocity equals target, right? We know where we want to be, which is basically, it's not the target, it's a distance to the target. We know how long we take to get there. And forever, whatever the end velocity is, we want to compensate for that, right? And this is basically the duration, the next duration, right? And I'm actually gonna, bear with me, but we have float duration equals 0.0f. We just set this here, right? There's a reason for that. There is a reason for that. We could just not initialize this because it's not needed, right? Intention, give me a second, right? Because basically this is one block just for this is the initial block, right? And that's why I wanted the duration outside of the block so I can set it inside. So this is one step. And let's just try this. Let's just try this. So this should just be the fly stop, right? And I hope it's flying to the right, otherwise we have made some big boo-boo. That is too far. 1600 is too far. Let's make that 800. I like the speed, so I want sliders for this, so I don't have to recompile. So you should have an editor that only does that and a scene and everything. Now that shoots out nicely, right? But that's 50 coins now. Now I want to rotate that. And what is the rotation? The rotation is plus minus, so -1 is up. Actually, let's make minus 0.5 up and plus. So the rotation, right? The rotation bar, rotation, right? Is the rotation is. I want half of them going left and half of them going right, right? So let's do this manually. So we subtract, right? So from I, we subtract amount divided by 2. So we get a value between -25 and 25, right? And then we divide that by amount, right? So we get a value and just make sure this is a float, right? So we get a value between -0.5 and +0.5. And just to thank you for that horrible completion. Yeah. And it's not logger debug, it's debug log because Unity decided to do it the other way around. Fair, right? So this should give us values between -0.5 and +0.5. Hypothetically. And this is an explosion, right? It's like a circular wave away from you. And that's fine. That is I like that. But let's look into the debugger if my angles or my angle mass is at least correct. So I get nice values going from -0.5 to plus. Rounding errors? Okay, rounding errors because we have values from 0 to 49, right? We have values from 0 to 49. That's the old old thing again, right? We have 0 to 49 and we want 0.5 to 49.5. Half a pixel offset. Microsoft messed that up with their video drivers, so I can mess that up in my code. No, let's clear this. So we have -0.49 plus 0.49, right? It's just this little half bias. So we can use that as a rotation now, right? So target dot row times. Oh, come on. We don't need a quaternion, right? Because it's a vector 2. It's not rotate, right? I should read the documentation, I know. Come on. Unity rotate vector 2. I don't need a quaternion to rotate a vector 2. Yeah, I don't want to do it manually. Oh, really? There is no... I know how to do vector rotation. I mean, just look at the stream, but... Really? Really? I don't want to... There's no... The... Really? Seriously? We could just do a vector 3 and rotate, but that's too expensive, right? Really? There's no... That can't be right. That can't be right. I mean, yes, this is the basic math, but I don't want to do this. This is too many multiplications, right? So I'm just gonna... I mean, this is just the basic math, right? I don't want to spend too much time on this right now. This is annoying. This is... We're going to clean this up in a bit, right? So we have a static vector to rotate, which takes a inner vector 2. It is not this. Degrees. I'm not sure if I need degrees, but let's say degrees. Sorry, I am like that. And this rotates in place, which is fine with me. Oh, can I redo this? And then we could do the extension, but right now, to do factor out into not into helper. Let's check real quick. Sinus, cosinus, C as CX as Y as X CY. That looks good to me. So, and this is now rotating. Rotation is is basically, so I want plus minus 90 degrees, right? So I want rotation times 180. That should rotate by 90 degrees in either direction, if that rotation is correct. And we're running late. I should really... Can you just... I'm not sure why I used the... I thought it was... Oh, that was not an out vector, so it's doing the copy. Okay. We will optimize that out. I mean, we wrote vector rotation so many times, I didn't want to rewrite it right now. We did that. How many times did we do this? Right, so we get this nice circle around the player. Explosion, and probably too many coins, right? But that is a good start. And why don't we just stick with that? And don't change the direction after time, but change the... After a while, they slow down. Right, you have this boom. Like, overemphasizing here. So what if we just say... And actually... The target stays the same, right? We just scale it. We just scale it. So what if the duration now is this 0.5, right? Because this was too long. And this is just the initial blast. Right? And then we don't set it to 0, right? We don't set it to 0. We set it, we calculate the speed again. So, I want to make this look nice. So we update the target, right? And we just scale down the target a bit. Okay, that doesn't work. So we have to do it in this direction. Oh, only float? Only float. So could I have done this instead? Yes. And then velocity. I mean, that's why we set the duration first, right? And then this is the velocity. Trying to repeat patterns here, right? Target, duration, velocity. Maybe we do it like this. So all this does, it doesn't change the direction, it just slows it down after 0.15 ticks, right? This so shouts for let's do an editor for this. Maybe we do a nice editor for this so we can actually tweak the values in real time. I'm not sure why I pressed play twice, but... I think they're getting faster after a while instead of slower, right? Why are they getting faster? Oh, wait. This duration here should be this, right? And this, That's the brain thing we messed up, right? Okay, let me do next duration. Fine with me. So we wanted this duration that we take for the calculation, this one here, right? So we put it here, and this one is the last. Probably we should have called this previous duration instead. We should have done the thing the other way around. Let's give it a shot before we mess it up completely. So it blasts out. It really blasts out. And then slows down until it stops. Maybe the initial blast is too... It's probably too fast, right? What if we make it very slow? This is very slow now, right? This is 4 times as slow. And target is a bad name. It still explodes pretty fast, but then slows down too much, right? So I want to, this is driving ref duration, right? Equals duration. Then this is actually duration, right? And this is duration, and then this can go bye-bye. And this is actually previous duration. And then pref duration here equals duration, right? And yes, then we need this and this. And then we can do this, right? I'm still wanting to do the blocks thing, but we keep the target in here. So this should behave identical. Just the second phase should be slower, faster. 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 Faster, 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 faster. This is kind of cool. And what we can do now is, so we could make a nice wavy line, and I'm going to do that even if I don't want to. Right, what we could do is target equals the sinus of this mass F sinus of the rotation, not the rotation duration. right? So we get a, and probably let's multiply that a bit to change the period, right? F. So we modulate the target by the angle. So we change the edge of the blast wave, which probably is not what we want to do. It's just one example of what we could do. If in doubt, add a sinus. Oh, we're spawning hearts. We are spawning hearts, and we know why, right? I mean, this is kind of cute. That was a complete accident. But the sinus here is between -1 and 1, right? And we want something between 0.5 and 1. So we scale it in range. So we multiply it by 0. So this gives us now a quarter to minus a quarter to quarter, right? And then we just add 0.75, right? 5. So this makes it tiny bit different. And I think it's actually changing the angle. But that heart was cute. And we know exactly why it happens. It's fascinating, right? Oh. We need to... Alright, we shift it. We rotate it, and then we change the period. Wrong direction, I know. Did we rotate it first and then scale it? No. You could just scale it after the rotation, to be honest. But I don't want to use that anyway, so why am I doing this? Why am I wasting time? Your time, my time, our time. I need to sleep time. It's 10 p.m. Yeah, and we should have rotated by half pi, right? And actually our value was so... Why? This should give values between... Oh. 0.25 times 0.75 is not anywhere close to 1. Actually, let's make this effect a bit bigger so you see it better and add more. Increase the periodicity? Periodicity, yeah, frequency. What's your frequency, Canis? Obviously, if we give values from 0.05, so we want values that are not close to 0, so we probably should, I don't know. Just making this up as I go. I just want a wavy line on the amplitude was far too high. That's not what I wanted. And it looks too regular anyway, right? You saw that it kind of did what I kind of didn't want. Right, so we get this regular blast wave, which just kind of, if you think of fire, is not that bad. Let's make it a bit smaller and increase it even more. So I want a bit of structure, like multiple bubbles. Do you call them bubbles? It should probably be fractal, and we're totally over designing this blast wave, this coin explosion. I mean, this is kind of okay, but they all look the same. So I do what every good developer would do whenever I spawn a coin explosion, right? In here, I say var period offset equals random dot range. It doesn't really matter. Right, and then here I just say, in this rotation here, this 3.14 is not really needed, right? So now every blast wave will look slightly different, which is good. Which is good, 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 good. I think Unity is eating memory again, and that's why my system is. So they're just rotated slightly different. But that's kind of cool. And the other thing we're gonna do is period scale. And there we just go very subtle, right? And then we could do a sinus of a sinus to add that, but we're going to add some noise in a second as well, just because. Yeah, first he adds a sinus and then he adds some noise, right? Yeah. Mind blown. Maybe, just maybe, right? So the rotation here, the rotation amount, this is 0 to 0.5, right? And then maybe we just want, I don't know, 120 degrees to make it more focused in front, like a shock wave. Like shock to the system. One day somebody will catch me, and I will be like, yeah, for years now. It could go on forever. So what I will do is, to this duration here, I will say pref duration just add some noise. And yes, I have 60 randoms now in that code. I mean, that was talking about the CPU cost of the few randoms, right? I don't know what Unity uses, if it's some kind of twister, or I hope it's not phoning home, right? So it starts out super nice and then gets scattered, right? Maybe we can even do more. Maybe we can scatter this even more. I don't want to make it too much bigger. I want to rather make it smaller. That's also performance benefit, right? The earlier it's done with checking all of these per frame. I'm pretty sure Unity is leaking random numbers now or something. I'm gonna add one more random. Just one more, and that is here. Because this will affect the velocity, right? So probably we should have done this here. Adding randomness till things look kind of okay-ish. And we probably should not do it at this moment. I kind of like how it is very regular. And then the initial phase is just too long. The initial duration, let's make this. Is this actually the duration we use for? Yes. It should be explosion chaos. Slow down. It should be a slider here, a slider here, so we can tweak it while going instead of, I mean, I change one value and I wait a minute to recompile. What I don't get. Oh. Ooh. So this is too much, right? This is not. So the initial velocity is too high plus. It's not the duration. I'm gonna park this. I'm gonna park this. We're gonna tweak our hearts out with that in a bit. For now, it's good enough. It looks like an explosion. I mean, we don't have a scrolling background, right? That looks better. Maybe the amplitude difference is too high here. Maybe this wavy line is too pronounced. Let's fix that real quick. So that's the random stuff you do. Yeah, let's do 1.5 hours. Let's fix the coins in Unity, right? And then move on to Godot and then play with an explosion for an hour or 2 or 3 or 8 or. Yeah. This is it. This is it. Let's turn the magnet back on. All right, remember we have that magnet here. And let's see if we accidentally capture the whole explosion before it gets away from us. Wouldn't that be funny? Auntie, don't say it. Auntie, don't say it. I mean, watching a little blue ball while trying to get your work done. Wait a second. Can I moderate this, please? Where's the button? Thank you. Sorry for that noise. Wait. Oh, what? What? Okay. I instantly grabbed the coin, so I have to increase the... I accidentally instantly grab all the coins, so we have to spawn them a bit further ahead, but I'm not going to fine tweak those values today. I've been writing code for decades now, and I don't know why is this in the inner iteration loop? In the ideal case, we would make the coins uncollectible for a bit. Ideally, I would like to shoot out the green one and that then explodes. But we said we're not gonna. There's another green one. Yeah, that kind of is okay. I mean, it doesn't look good if I do this. Well, it looks good to have thousands of coins. But it looks good when I naturally collect. Let's go quick dip, curve, zigzag, tunnel. Funnel had an explosion at the end, right? Or was it a rain? It was both. So let's go down, 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 down. Yeah, that looks good. Get the magnet, get the magnet. Yeah, oh, coin crazy. Yeah, I like where that went. I don't like that Unity cannot rotate a vector too. That's like, what the... Ooh, that was a close call. The problem is when you do games, you reach the point where it's so much fun to play the game that I just want to test something really quick. And then you play your own game forever. More coins, all mine. Okay, I'm gonna crash into that. Nice. I will. Oh, we actually committed that. Oops. I will declare coins and pickups done for Unity. So we can play with it in Godot because the iteration speed there is much higher. We get to the goal much faster. And improved version. It's still not good. It's still not good, but I always think, oh, you do the game in 5 episodes and then 12 episodes later, it's like stage and actually nice. Improve coin explosion in Unity, right? And that's basically this thing here. I don't know what I was thinking about the other thing. Commit this, rebase this, and push this. And as always, all the code is in the usual place on GitHub, so you can follow along. I'll add auto builds off stream because nobody wants to watch me work on GitHub workflows. I'll explain the result, but I'm not going to do that on stream. So with that, I'm going to play a bit of Fiiish. I'm not sure what you're doing. Maybe I should do a release build. Oh wait, we would use GitHub for that, right? And just because I can you rotate this, please? Doesn't this look good? I'm gonna collect some coins, and you're gonna stay safe, right? I'm Antti, I'm out. I see you next week with some Godot action. Bye-bye.